Hey, look at me, I am an animal, we are all animals too. Now we want to show you all about animals and what all the animals do. Animals come in so many sizes and colors and shapes you can see. There are so many different animals living in harmony. Some live up, some live down, some use legs to get around. Some are wet, some are dry, living together side by side on land and sea and in the sky.
Reptiles are very different animals. And it's not hard to tell reptiles apart from other animals, since they all have some of the same things in common. For example, all reptiles have skins that are tough and rather dry. Most are covered with scales, but some are covered with a hard shell. Most reptiles have short, stubby legs and toes that are clawed. But there are some reptiles that have no legs or feet at all. All reptiles have backbones inside them. Some of the backbones are very, very long. And all reptiles breathe through lungs. Reptiles are cold-blooded, too. This means the temperature of their bodies changes with the temperature of the air, water, or ground around them. That's why reptiles often lie in the hot sun to get warm. Animals such as snakes, alligators, and lizards are reptiles. Reptiles are animals you will always remember.
Noah is covered from head to tail with skin that's dry and rough. Who has skin all covered with scales or a shell that's hard and tough? Who has legs that are very short or has no legs at all? Who has feet of a certain sort or has no feet at all? You might find them on the ground, lying in the noonday sun, getting heat from the air around till the daylight's done. In the water, on the land, they all need air to breathe. Just like you, they have two lungs to get the air they need. Reptiles, they got scales, reptiles, from head to tail. None of them have hair, as you can see. Reptiles, legs that crawl, reptiles, or no legs at all. But all of them breathe air like you and me. All of them breathe air like you and me.
Some reptiles walk on the land by using their short, stubby legs. Reptiles that have no legs or feet slither about using their bodies. Some reptiles slither very slowly. Others are quite fast. Reptiles protect themselves in several ways. Some have great sharp teeth. Some reptiles have a hard shell that's impossible to bite. And some hide under the ground where their enemies can't find them. Most reptiles hatch from eggs. And when they're born, baby reptiles are on their own to live as best they can. But reptiles learn very quickly how to take care of themselves.
Lots of reptiles have 4 legs they use to get around. Legs of the short and stubby sort that move them along the ground. Snakes are kinds of reptiles now that have no legs at all. They can slither through the grass or climb a forest tall. Reptiles come from eggs, and when they're born they're left alone. No parent there to help them from their birth till they are grown. Even baby reptiles have to make it on their own. Find their food and shelter as they grow up on their own. Reptiles hatched from eggs. Reptiles with stubby legs. Some can move without those legs at all. Reptiles down below the ground. Reptiles are hanging upside down. Some just slither, others always crawl. Some just slither, others always crawl. From head to tail, with skin that's dry and rough. Who has skin that's covered with scales, or a shell that's hard and tough? Who has legs that are very short, or has no legs at all? Who are born from eggs, of course, you know just what they're called. Who are left to grow up on their own as best they can. Who breathes air with lungs both on the water and on land. Who has blood that's warm or cold depending on the air. Who sleeps through the winter cold without the slightest care. Reptiles hatched from eggs. Reptiles with stubby legs. And some can move without those legs at all. Reptiles below the ground. Reptiles are hanging upside down. Animals that slither and that crawl. They're a part of nature, one and all. They're a part of nature, one and all. Hey, look at me, I am an animal. We are all animals too. Now we want to show you all about animals and what all the animals do. Animals come in so many sizes and colors and shapes you can see. There are so many different animals living in harmony. Some live up, some live down, some use legs to get around. Some are wet, some are dry, living together side by side on land and sea and in the sky.
Amphibians are special animals in our world, and they have certain things in common. Amphibians have skin that may be moist or wet. Most have skin that is also very smooth. But there are many that have skin that is bumpy. All amphibians are born from tiny eggs. At first, most amphibians have no legs of any kind. Gradually, many amphibians grow 2 or 4 legs. Some of these legs are very, very small. All amphibians begin their lives breathing underwater through gills. Gradually, as they grow legs, some amphibians grow lungs as well to help them breathe air from the surface. Lastly, all amphibians have backbones. Salamanders, frogs, and toads are all amphibians.
There is an animal, a kind of animal, that's simply wonderful to see. Its skin is very wet, and even smoother yet, or it's as bumpy as can be. They start from tiny eggs, they start without their legs. They're really quite a sight to see. But soon they're growing legs that look like tiny pegs that can be very hard to see. They start their lives down in the water, not the land, the streams and lakes, but not the sea. They've got a name and they're called amphibians. They start their life out swimming free. They breathe at first with gills. Their underwater skills help to get them all the air they need. And while they still are young, most start to use their lungs and head up towards the sun to breathe. They look just like a fish when they give the tail a swish, but they're amphibians, you see. And when they walk ashore, some walk upon all fours, they're still amphibians, you see. Some leave the water off to live upon the land and breathe the air like you and me. Some grow 2 legs and some others will grow 4, but no amphibian has 3. They are amphibians and they are living in 2 very, very different worlds. 2 very, very different worlds.
Amphibians begin their lives in the water, where they swim about. They move themselves by using their tails. But life in the water is only the first part of the life of some amphibians. For example, tadpoles gradually become frogs as their bodies change and their legs and lungs grow. Once on land, amphibians either crawl about slowly on their legs or they hop from place to place.
Watch the amphibian, see how it's swimming in the water by the movement of its tail. See the amphibians, they have no special fins like fish, and they don't have the fish's scales. Some start down in the water, from eggs left in the water, and when they're born, they're all alone. There's no adult beside them, no parent round to guide them. They have to grow up on their own. They swim about down in the water all around. They look for plants that they can eat. But when they're grown, some go live upon the land and move about upon their feet. And when amphibians change from the way they've been, some go to live upon the shore. It's really quite a treat to watch those little feet moving around on 2s and 4s. Some crawling on the ground, some hopping up and down, some even climbing in trees. Some like to leap and swim, some leap from limb to limb. They seem to hop around with ease. Some leave the water just to live upon the land and walk about upon their feet. Some leave the water seeking food upon the land, looking for insects they can eat. They are amphibians, and they've been living in two very, very different worlds. Two very, very different worlds. An animal, a kind of animal that's simply wonderful to see. Its skin is very wet and even smoother yet, or it's as bumpy as can be. They start from tiny eggs, they start without their legs. They're really quite a sight to see. But soon they're growing legs that look like tiny pegs that can be very hard to see. They live at first in the water, not the land, and get their air through gills, you see. Some go to live in the forest when they can, and breathe from lungs like you and me. They are amphibians, and they are living in two very, very different worlds. Two very, very different worlds. Hey, look at me, I am an animal, we are all animals too. Now we want to show you all about animals and what all the animals do. Animals come in so many sizes and colors and shapes you can see. There are so many different animals living in harmony. Some live up, some live down, some use legs to get around. Some are wet, some are dry, living together side by side on land and sea and in the sky.
Some of the most exciting animals in our world are birds. And all birds have certain things in common. Birds are covered with feathers. Birds also have 2 wings that help most of them to fly, sometimes very high and very far. Birds have beaks instead of mouths. And all birds have 2 legs and 2 feet. And birds breathe air through lungs. Last, but not least, all birds have backbones inside them. Roosters, pelicans, ducks, and flamingos are just a few of the many kinds of birds in our world.
What has feathers on its back and feathers on its head? What has feathers on its neck and feathers on its bed? What has feathers on its wings and just about everything? What has feathers and often likes to sing? Now what has a couple of wings it likes to wave and flap around? Pairs of wings that some will use to lift them off the ground. Wings are things that only certain animals possess. Their name begins with B, you know the rest. Birds of a feather flock together, whether it's rain or shine. Birds of a feather like it better when the weather is fine. Birds have special kinds of mouths with which they eat their fill. You can call them beaks, my friend, or you can call them bills. They use them when they want to drink and when they want to eat. Don't forget, the birds do not have teeth. Without a pair of legs, a bird would never be complete. And underneath those legs, you'll find a bird will have 2 feet. Some are webbed and some are clawed, depending on the kind. But a bird with more than 2, you'll never find. Birds of a feather singing together in the summertime. Birds of a feather like it better when the weather is fine.
Birds move about in different ways. When they fly, they use their wings. When they walk or swim, they use their legs and feet. The feathers on a bird help it to keep warm. The color of their feathers also helps some birds to hide from their enemies. A bird lives in its nest. It builds its nest from twigs and branches, usually high up in trees. Baby birds are hatched from eggs in these nests, and here the parents feed and care for them until they're old enough to fly away on their own. Some birds can fly to places very far away and return again without ever getting lost. Birds are very special animals.
Birds have wings they use to help them climb into the sky. Wings that move in such a way to help the bird to fly. There are many kinds of birds that try and try and try, but certain kinds of birds can't really fly. A bird will use its feet when it goes walking on the land, moving through the forest green or running through the sand. Feet are what it uses when it's swimming in the stream. Watch their feet and you'll see what I mean. Birds of a feather flying together way up in the sky. Birds of a feather walking together, see 'em side by side. Now birds use twigs and branches when they want to build their nest. Its nest is where a bird may eat and where a bird may rest. It's also where the young are born and raised with special care until it's time to fly into the air. A bird has feathers on its back to help to keep it warm and help protect it from the cold and from a rainy storm. The colors of its feathers often help the bird to hide the bird from other hungry eyes. Birds of a feather flying together, sometimes very far. Birds of a feather flying together, know just where they are. What has feathers on its back and feathers on its chest? What has wings that help it fly up high above its nest? What have bills to help them when they eat and when they speak? Birds you see are really very neat. What have feet they use when they are walking on the ground and often build their nest in trees everywhere around? Who can travel day and night to places far away and then return and never lose their way? Birds of a feather flock together, living side by side. Birds of a feather flying together across the world so wide. Animals side by side.